It's an exclusive music special you won't see on HBO or Cinemax. Gloria, Estefan, and Miami Sound Machine, only on Showtime. Premiering this month.
They're three people with a deadline.
Yeah, all lights are green.
And a mission.
I need a man I can trust.
What's the deal? You're the guys my father hired to take me to prison?
It's not a prison, it's a school,
Yeah,
right?
who am I?
Where I come from, friends don't deliver their friends to prison.
But the road to success
What is going on?
is littered with pitfalls.
What are you doing? Are you crazy?
Three for the Road, starring Charlie Sheen. You won't see it on HBO or Cinemax.
Oh, no.
You'll see it only on Showtime.
I'm sure you all know the name Margaret Donner.
Meet Larry, a writer with murder on his mind.
The woman stole my book. I hate her. I wish she was dead.
Meet Owen,
Evan! Evan!
a son with a real mother on his case.
What? Get me a soda with some ice in it.
Now, meet Danny DeVito, once TV's despicable taxi dispatcher Louis De Palma, now directing his first major motion picture, Throw Momma from the Train.
He asked me to play the part of Owen Lift, and I sort of forced myself on as a director. I said, I have all these bizarre ideas. I'm going to take the script and change it from this kind of over-the-top farce. And the style of the movie that I wanted to do for my first film, I just didn't want to do a candy-colored comedy.
Now, meet Billy Crystal,
Who the hell are you?
an extraordinary stand-up comedian now displaying a unique talent as an actor.
As I find I really enjoy acting now, it was more specific. You get a chance to do it again. So this way you get to do it until hopefully it's right.
Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal star in one of 1987's top box office hits.
What a dream I was having. Louis Armstrong was trying to show me.
She's not a woman. She's the Terminator.
You won't see it on HBO or Cinemax. Throw Momma from the Train, when the top movies hit TV. Time.
Just ahead, the premiere of Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, starring Charles Bronson. It's the Showtime exclusive movie of the week, followed by risque Showtime After Hours with Frank and I.
Showtime exclusive presentation, rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America. Parents may wish to consider whether children under 17 should view this picture.
Coming up in about 20 minutes, Showtime After Hours presents Frank and I. It's all about a rather wealthy English gentleman who meets a luscious young lady who's fleeing from a brothel where she was pretending to be a boy. Sounds murky. Very murky. But first, a promo for Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis.
I gotta give you your dream shot. You two characters are going to Top Gun. We're gonna teach you to fly the F-14 right to the edge of the envelope, faster than you've ever flown before.
Gentlemen, this school is about combat. There are no points for second place.
I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right. Man, I am dangerous.
A little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, I guess when I see something, I go right after it.
I feel the need for speed.
This is where you're going to see it, not on HBO or Cinemax. Top Gun exclusively on Showtime. 1 week from tonight.
In 1961, Paul Newman created one of film's most memorable characters, pool shark Fast Eddie Felson in The Hustler. 25 years later, the Hustler's no longer a kid. He's a legend. And there's a young hotshot in the wings ready to pick up his cue.
He's got the eye, he's got the stroke, he's got the flake.
This is the best.
You're an incredible flake. But that's a gift.
You used me.
Yes, I did. I'm hungry again.
Just heavy legend action.
I want his best game.
You want my game? You couldn't deal with my game, Jack. You're outmanned.
I'm gonna beat him, you know.
What makes you so sure?
Paul Newman in his Academy Award-winning role.
I got half of me that says I got a hold of the best thing that I ever seen, and half of me that says it just ain't worth it.
And Tom Cruise in a Martin Scorsese film you won't see on HBO or Cinemax.
You smell what I smell? Smoke?
Money.
The Color of Money, a Showtime exclusive.
1 week from tonight.
There are 3 people with a deadline
Yeah, all lights are green.
and a mission.
I need a man I can trust.
What's the deal? You're the guys my father hired to take me to prison.
It's not a prison, it's a school,
Yeah,
right?
who am I?
Where I come from, friends don't deliver their friends to prison.
But the road to success
What is going on?
is littered with pitfalls.
What are you doing? Are you crazy?
3 for the Road, starring Charlie Sheen. You won't see it on HBO or Cinemax.
Oh, no.
You'll see it only on Showtime.
People in the party, hot, hot, hot. People in the party, hot, hot, hot. They come to the party on what they got. They come to the party on what they got. I'm hot, you're hot, he's hot, she's hot. I'm hot, you're hot, he's hot, she's hot.
Showtime Coast to Coast is hotter than ever and turns up the heat with rave reviews from audiences and critics alike. Showtime Coast to Coast is evolving into the most satisfying concert series on television.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Now this is a TV special worth preserving on videotape. And People magazine says it's the single best music series on TV. You won't see it on HBO or Cinemax. Join host Herbie Hancock as he takes you coast to coast, only on Showtime.
Yeah, I had a drama teacher in high school who was very into the put the bag on your head and crawl backwards across the room school of dramatic work. So I was actually doing a play at night. I was doing, it was an equity play and it was well reviewed, and I was doing this play every night and I had drama first thing in the morning. Well, we end up going till 1 o'clock in the morning and you get off stage and you're just bouncing around. So I had a foam thing and I had a pickup truck, and in the morning I'd say goodbye to my mom. I'd go off to school. I'd get about halfway there. I'd pull into the park and put the foam in the back of the truck and climb in and go to sleep. So I didn't make it to drama that much, and when I did, I wasn't too excited about putting a bag over my head. And yeah, I didn't do extremely well in high school drama.
There's about 10 minutes before Frank and I, but first Bill Harris chats with Willem Dafoe.
I am sick and tired of going to the funerals of black men who have been murdered by white men.
They are powerless against us if every single Anglo-Saxon Christian one of us stands together.
He's Willem Dafoe, who was Oscar-nominated for Platoon. I'm Bill Harris, with the actor who made world headlines in The Last Temptation of Christ. Now he's back in a big way with Mississippi Burning.
How about a Willem Dafoe quote? If I had any ambition as a child, it was to be a great B movie actor. Those good old B movies. And you mean the monster films, the old classics, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think, those were the films I was looking at when I was a youngster. And I loved them. Looking back on them, there was something classical about them and mythic and grand. I also remember I would get these reduced, they'd have shorts that they'd send out, and I'd play them on my own 8mm film projector and, charge kids from the neighborhood a quarter and that sort of thing. So that was the beginning. It also made, I remember, I was quite popular in the neighborhood because I got a hold of something called Simba, the Lion Killer. And, of course, it had the National Geographic appeal for a young American boy that can't get his hands on his father's Playboy. So
do we mean naked native ladies?
Yes, we do.
What did we charge for that production?
35 cents.
It seems difficult for you to talk about But one of the most memorable events of making Platoon was a Marine drill sergeant who's seen in the film who actually drilled you and took you on survival training, and you worked your bottom off, I guess.
Right.
How tough was it?
It was very tough. The only reason why I hesitate is, you know, I tire of actors talking about their preparation and how tough it was. Being an actor, it's kind of a charmed life if you're working. But it was very difficult. Sleep deprivation really is difficult. A crash course on learning how to spring ambushes and living out in the bush. It's not easy.
I cut it down! Burn! Burn!
Stay out of this, Flyers. This ain't your show.
You ain't a firing squad, you piece of...
A quote from Willem Dafoe, "Yes, it's only a movie, and I'm only an actor, but the reaction from the Vietnam veterans made me very happy."
That's true. That's true.
You heard from them then?
Yes, yes.
Did you find...
It was an important film for a lot of vets that I met.
How did you actually know you landed the lead role in The Passion, which later became known as The Last Temptation of Christ?
It was actually quite simple. I came back from Thailand, and I heard Marty Scorsese wants to talk to you. And I thought, great, because I've always been a great fan of his films. And I knew it was about Last Temptation of Christ, and I said, what role? They said, what do you think? I thought, yeah, that's right. That's right. I should do this.
Did you right away?
And I met with him, and by the end of the conversation, I kind of felt like, yes, this was a good match, material, right people. And when he asked me to do it, I was, you know, really excited.
Were you surprised at the size and the intensity of the controversy over the film?
Yes, the size and the intensity. I was aware that the Kazantzakis book was controversial. I was aware that this film had a stormy history in the attempt to having it be made. But I was really surprised how the controversy manifested itself. Particularly the fact that the bulk of the criticism of the film came before even anyone saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And also I thought because some of these religious groups had had some internal problems recently, that they didn't have the same kind of pull, but in fact I think they used this politically as a rallying point.
When they speak about Willem Dafoe's acting, that's one thing. Your roles, that's another thing. What do you do when they concentrate on Willem Dafoe, the sex symbol?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Now, what does your lady, Elizabeth, think about it?
She likes it too. She obviously concurs.
Excellent. Excellent. The new one, Mississippi Burning.
Yes.
When I read the material, I realize that you have said you have to be sort of legally careful in describing what the film is about.
This is based on an incident, and some of the people that were convicted in that incident are still around. So legally, I think you did have to make sure that it wasn't about them.
Well, now, Mississippi Burning revolves around the death of 3 young civil rights workers in the South in the early 60s.
Right, and so you can't help but notice that it refers to a historical event.
Some specifics.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson, stop! Mr. Anderson! What the hell? I'm telling you to stop, and I mean it. We're not killers.
That's the difference between them and us.
That's the difference between them and you.
You're not any more like them than I am.
Wrong. What do you care what I do if I'm hiding behind a sheriff's badge? Don't you have the whole world to change?
That's right, and I'm changing.
Oh, you're just as arrogant as you are stupid.
You're changing it too.
Well, damn, I'm gonna make some changes right now.
Don't be so stupid. Don't go messing this up just because you're partial to fooling around with witnesses.
You. I don't mean I have a gun unless you're ready to use it.
I'll kill you right now if you don't listen to what I have to tell you.
Tell me about working with Gene Hackman. I just think he'd be fun, and the old pro would also perhaps teach you a trick or two.
Yes, you said it. I mean, it's just a pleasure to see someone that's so strong, and he was a pleasure to work with. Really smooth, but still the commitment and the passion never dies. So that's, you know, he's not cynical. He's still real fresh. Mm-hmm. Yet, he's got the authority that comes with a long history of performing. So that's a pleasure.
Let's talk about mustaches. You have a little way to catch up here.
Yeah, and I'm way behind you, that's for sure.
But the reason?
I'm growing my hair and growing out this stuff on my face for a role I'm going to do in Born on the 4th of July, the Oliver Stone picture.
About the Ron Kovic?
It's the Ron Kovic story, mm-hmm. Right.
And you'll be there with Tom Cruise and with the...
Right. I'm shooting in the Philippines, so that'll be like returning home with Oliver because we shot Platoon there.
That's right. That's right. Again, a Willem Dafoe quote. I keep my life simple so I can keep my work exciting. But I have the feeling that these days, after so much attention and so many great roles, it's got to be tougher and tougher to keep the Dafoe life simple.
Not really, because I mostly, I mean, besides my small core of friends and my family and that sort of thing, basically what I do is work. You know, I mean, I don't have any hobbies. I don't have any fast cars, stuff like that. I mean, what's, I don't know.
That's it.
I get nervous when people start talking about how exciting my personal life is.
No, I don't say that. I say it must be difficult, though, to keep it simple.
Oh, it is. It is. Everything gets more complex. The more things become available to you, the harder choices become. And nothing gets easier.
Willem Dafoe has tackled tough assignments, from the Vietnam War in Platoon to the early civil rights movement in Mississippi Burning, where he co-stars with Gene Hackman. Today, a look at a powerful young actor and some of his outstanding work. Bill Harris in Hollywood. We'll talk again.
Dictator. We do not accept Turks, Orientals, nor Negroes.
We're not killers. That's the difference between them and us.
That's the difference between them and you. Did you smile when the bulldozer ran over the black kid's body?
We're here to protect Anglo-Saxon democracy and the American way.
What's wrong with these people?
When the top stars hit TV, they're on Showtime.
Showtime. I'm sure you all know the name Margaret Donner.
Meet Larry, a writer with murder on his mind.
The woman stole my book. I hate her. I wish she was dead.
Meet Owen.
Evan!
A son with a real mother on his case.
What? Get me a soda with some ice in it.
And they both may have blood on their hands.
Your son killed my wife. And now he wants me to kill you.
Or maybe not. You won't see it on HBO or Cinemax. Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal star in one of 1987's top box office hits.
What a dream I was having! Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me!
She's not a woman. She's the Terminator.
Throw Momma from the Train. Premiering Saturday, January 21st. When the top movies hit TV, they're on Showtime. What would you guess all these comics had in common? Gary Shandling, Harry and Leslie Anderson, Jay Johnson, Bob Saget, Bill Kirchenbauer, George Wallace, Kozak the Magician, and Dave Coulier. Well, a decade ago, they all got their acts together at the highly successful Comedy and Magic Club in California's Hermosa Beach, a springboard for some of the best and brightest funny men in the business. Started by a young entrepreneur named Mike Lacey, and now celebrating its 10th anniversary with an all-star special on Showtime. We asked Lacey why a comedy and magic club.
Because there was only the Magic Castle in Hollywood. That's the only place that at the time had anything to do with magic. And those guys were great. You couldn't see them anywhere.
So he opened the club, which became one of the most popular rooms in the country to work.